Welcome to Yacht Femme, where we talk about the women that make the yachting industry. I'm your host, Andrea Tagliaferro. Learn who they are, how they got into yachting, and what they do today. Meet Rebecca Whitlocke, founder of Antibes Yachting. She is a marketing consultant and freelance copywriter based in southern France. With a background in wholesale travel and experience in superyacht hospitality, Rebecca's proudest achievement is launching her company while juggling life as a mom to two sons. She focuses on helping yachting businesses grow through strategic marketing, PR, social media management, and event promotion. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Yacht Song. I'm very excited because I'm here not only with someone that I admire, but a friend of mine, with Rebecca. So Rebecca, can you please tell us a little bit about who you are and what do you do in yachting?
Hi, thank you for having me. We finally get to have a proper conversation outside of a boat show or online. My name's Rebecca Whitlock. I am originally from New Zealand, but now I'm based in southern France. And my day-to-day role is I do marketing and copywriting with a bit of PR, and I run my own business called Antibes Yachting.
So how is it that you got into, I know you live now in Antibes, so it feels like it all makes sense, but how is it that you actually got into yachting?
That's right. Well, as you know, Antibes are a major hub for the yachting industry here in the Med. I used to previously, before yachting, worked in wholesale travel. So my ex-partner was on super yachts, and when I moved to France, that was a natural fit for me. So I could use hospitality and my communication skills. But now that I've got my own company and I specialize dealing in shore-based consultancy, I would say 99% of what I do is dealing with companies ashore and then occasional direct business with yachts themselves.
Um, so I was gonna say, what does a day-to-day look like for you? I actually got a sneak peek of her after the Conspo show when she was like, and really early before she would go on to the show, she was already on deadlines, which was like it was crazy to see. But what is the normal day for you? Look when you're at a show and when you're not at a show, because I found that to be fascinating.
Yeah. So for shows, specifically if I'm at a show, I'm there doing media work. So a lot of PR for clients, organizing interviews, press coverage before the show, arranging all their media interviews during the show and then follow up after. So that process can take place over a few months. It's not just, happening a few days before the show and off you go. So that's a little tip for everybody. Get your PR in far in advance. And outside of the show, I mean, every day is different. I have a massive variety. So, as you can see from my little banner behind me, the post-it notes, that's what it feels like some weeks. Just back of different projects that I work on. So everything from social media management to editorials for yachting media to PR. I do a little bit of event promotion for companies as well. So yeah, a huge mix.
So you work for yourself in Antibes Yachting. What is it like to work for yourself? And also, how long have you been working to yourself, for yourself? Were you working for someone else before, or was this always your calling?
Well, so on Team Building, it's just me. So, I'm the chief coffee maker, marketer, taxi driver, social media person. But because when I launched on Team Building, I was already contracting to a lot of companies that perhaps didn't have an in-house marketing person. So it was a natural fit. I had a lot of demand, especially from small businesses, that they needed more support with marketing and PR strategies. And that's not necessarily something that small businesses put, a lot of resources into, like they'll give their social media to the admin lady on reception or something to add a few Facebook posts or Instagram posts every, just once a week. So people were coming to me that needed more strategic advice, and especially for PR. They weren't always going with big media. They wanted outreach across a load of different media, a load of different budget ranges, and just it was quite a nice evolution for me because I have a great network of other writers that I know and journalists and editors. And so being able to reach out to them is really important. I actually launched Antibes Yachting. I had the website ready to go, all my social media set up, and then the pandemic hit. So it was kind of a crazy time. It wasn't the optimal time to launch a business at all, but in the end, it worked in my benefit because I found that there were a lot of yachting companies that didn't have foot traffic anymore. We couldn't travel. They didn't have customers who could, you know, just walk past their shop anymore. So they actually came to me and they said, look, we don't have a Facebook page. How are we going to attract customers? They're no longer coming into the shop anymore or into the yacht agency, and we're freaking out. We don't know how long this is going to all last. And so looking back now, at the time I was like, should I delay launching the company? What should I do? No idea how long the pandemic was going to last. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going for it. And yeah, it worked out really well. And I'm really happy how it's going so far.
I love that. It actually reminded me of that's when I launched the podcast. When I finally had time, it was like a project that I had there. But now that even at my company that was in person and now we were working remotely, we were really learning so many other ways to convey messages. And so I was leveraging softwares that I had to learn now for my company. Also, how can I include them into the podcast? And people got so used to not being into a podcast in person. And I want to say 99% of my interviews are all remote. So it became a comfortable question for them to jump on Zoom versus never were used to it and so on. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I
kind of
mean, I would
similar.
agree with that as well because we had so many webinars that were taking place at that time, and a lot of content from brokers and shipyards moved online, and so people did become comfortable, logging into an online space and joining webinars. Where previously we didn't really have that volume of online business where people would interact, and network in a Zoom call or Meet or something. So yeah, it's worked out well for you too.
Woo-hoo for both of us.
Woohoo!
Uh, Rebecca, can you share maybe to date what has been your biggest accomplishment in yachting?
Well, obviously, launching my company was a major bonus. I was really happy to see that finally come to life because you have an idea and you think, okay, this is an idea, but when you actually physically put that into action and then you have a launch day for something, it's a really proud moment. And especially being a mom, I've got two kids, and so the juggle of doing business and life is always ongoing. So but another moment that I probably, am really proud of was I had 4 articles that appeared in the summer magazine for Monaco Yacht Show a few years ago. So, you know, being a Kiwi growing up in New Zealand, that was something I never would have imagined being in the show magazine at one of the biggest boat shows in the world.
Well, I would assume that this wasn't even on your vision board when you were in New Zealand.
Trust me, I've always loved the post-it notes, but not in that way.
um, how long actually have you been in the yachting industry through it all?
This is going to make me sound really old now. No. Well, I moved to France. I've been here 15 years, so basically since I moved to France. But yeah, I've been doing dedicated sort of marketing and PR for over a decade specifically.
If
And
you
and
think that made you sound old, you made all of us sound really old. So we'll take that back. Rebecca did not meet it. I'm her PR for today.
sorry
So
for anyone that's been in the industry longer than that. They're just sitting watching this going, what are you talking about?
so in that time, because you also have to stay current on trends on the latest news to make sure that you craft the great stories for your clients and work on their behalf. I'm sure you've really been in tune with changes in the industry. So what changes have you seen in your time in yachting?
Well, definitely, I think there's been more of a focus on crew-related topics. Mental health obviously has always been a pressing issue, and um, that is ongoing. And there's various initiatives that are trying to raise awareness for support services out there, fundraising events that are happening. And I think it's important that we keep continuing those conversations, whether we're directly involved in crew-related companies. Also, sustainability is another big topic. So definitely in the last 5 years, that's been just a huge topic. Driven a lot from the shipyards and the brokers. So we're starting to see more of that crossover into media and then into technology and all the different innovations that are coming through. Design and shipyards, they're always going to be pushing the latest concepts out to us. But it's nice to have coverage from when we actually hear when owners are actually pushing for innovation as well. So aside from the crew related stuff and sustainability, of course, I'm going to talk about marketing. Now, AI, let's talk about
I was
AI.
gonna say,
How
where are
much
you
time,
leaving AI?
how much time have we got? So AI, since that's launched, that has really impacted marketing and, of course, content creation. So everything from video production to editing to copywriting. I remember when specifically ChatGPT rolled out, a lot of freelance writers in the industry were absolutely stressed because they thought we're going to lose our jobs. It's going to, all go to pieces. It's going to be AI content everywhere. And, I think within about 2 weeks, I saw the first job advertisement from a sailing company asking for a writer who was familiar with AI. And this is before it had even really taken off. And so that has been a huge impact within the industry. And I think as marketers, whether you love AI or not, it's here. It's, you've got to adapt, you've got to use it, to whether you're using it for idea generation or to play around with ideas. Every day it's coming more and more into the process for marketing.
Yeah, 100%. Copywriting is definitely my weakest. Sorry. Copywriting is definitely my weakest in my arsenal. So when ChatGPT and other language-based software came into the scene, I was like beyond thankful. But the reality is, if you're doing everything as an entrepreneur or even if it's a small company, and that was actually your forte, now you can produce so much more because you can just leverage it. Um, that being said, I live in Los Angeles and we have an uproar or strikes against using AI to create scripts. As an audience, I can tell you we can tell, and we need the human beings back. They can use AI, but we need someone at the helm. So I don't think that's ever going away because you're talking about productions in the millions, and we still need leveraging the artistic humans to help
Yeah.
us convey these stories. So
And I think that AI, it's something that is a facilitator. It's not the be all and end all one solution that yachting companies should actually use, because you need that human input to tweak everything, to refine it. And AI can't call up an editor and say, look, I've got this great pitch for a story. AI cannot, like in an interview, ask hard questions to somebody. So these are all the things that humans are, they've got that emotional intelligence that can actually fine tune storytelling and content.
yeah, 100%. I know I think we covered a little bit about what you see for the future of yachting, but if there's anything else you would like to add, what do you see yachting going?
Well, I really would love more focus on maritime specific charities and causes. I feel like we have, I hate to use the word influencers, but I feel like there's a lot of people who have quite a high profile in the super yacht sector that they could be diverting a lot of that profile towards good causes without kind of expecting to be the face of that cause, if you see what I mean. So, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see more media covering fundraising causes. Definitely, it's something. Ocean literacy, for maritime education for young people, internships, that type of thing. Of course, we're always going to have a bit of a spotlight on what the industry is doing to reduce emissions and improve sustainability. So I think that's really going to take off in, the next decade, I would say, is when people will really sit up and notice once we start getting more industry regulations.
Yeah, I also benefit when people are sharing the positive things that are happening in the yachting industry, maybe for what I'm doing or for another cause, because it does create this vibe of positivity that I feel has changed. I felt more competition like when I started in yachting, and then I have found more people that want to help you succeed in whatever it is that you're focused in. And I think it's not only because there's these nonprofits or charities or organizations that want to do better, is because I think it's actually infecting other people with
Yeah.
that positivity. So I personally, I have seen some change. Maybe it's only in the niche, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that when people see others publicly promoting, good causes within yachting, it inspires them to do stuff. And I know from my experience, I've had people donate to like the lifeboat, or the other people have donated to like cancer fundraising charities because they see people talk about it and they may not necessarily have had that drop into their feed or seen an article about it. So in those cases, 100% support. It's one of the things I do here on the French Riviera is I do pro bono PR for charities that are here. So and not just in yachting, like a range of different stuff. So yeah.
That's great. I would like to talk to you more about that to see how we can expand and do better, at least for me selfishly, how we can help with the tools that we already have. But this is my favorite question. What advice would you give yourself, and what do you wish you had known if you would be starting yachting, let's say tomorrow?
Ooh, okay, that's a good question. Well, I think that you've always got to stay true to your values and what you believe for your own company and personally and professionally. So, because sometimes we, as freelancers, we join projects and it might not be 100% in sync with how we would run our own company or how we would treat people. And so you get quite savvy at fine tuning who are good clients, who are going to be red flag clients, that type of thing. So I think once you sort of stick really firm to your values about what you expect in a professional and personal environment, then it's so much easier to say no to things that don't align to that. And then you'll find that all the great opportunities are coming to you because you know exactly, you're attracting the type of people that sync with what you believe in as well. If I had a piece of advice, I would say, oh, it's really tricky, actually. That's a really tough question, but I would say, just take if for business owners especially, take a few risks with what your decisions are because this is well before I launched Antibes Yachting, but I had an idea for a yacht product, like a product to go into the yachting industry. So I was doing a feasibility study and, getting lots of research about how it would work in the market. And I took so long to do the feasibility study because I wanted it to be perfect and, a great presentation if I had to go to investors and bring others on it along the way. So it kind of stagnated me moving on with the project because I just kept going on it, going and thinking, oh, this isn't perfect. And in the meantime, someone else had a similar idea and they had the resources and they just went and boom, it was out there on the market. And it wasn't perfect, but it was there. And I thought, oh my God, I've just wasted all this time doing all this research and they've beat me to it. And so I learned a super valuable lesson that progress is better than perfection because I was just so obsessed with it being perfect that I just didn't move along as fast as I should have. And so, yeah, that was a lesson learned. Big mistake from my part, but yeah, You learn these things. So yeah, take a few risks and be bold, and don't be afraid to ask for help from people that have better skills than you. Most people want to see you succeed. They're not there to bring you down, and there'll be a few haters out there. Good luck to them. They can do their thing. You do your thing and just keep moving on. You can't keep everybody happy, so you've just got to,
Mm-mm.
brush it aside, and you can always hit delete and block if there's any trolls out there.
If you need any help, I know how to do that in multiple social media channels. I got it. I
Automatic
don't
delete.
waste time. Delete, block, moving on. There's no time for you. But I love the advice that you gave. I actually just saw a quote about exactly that yesterday. That it was, what beats perfection? Being done. So,
Yeah,
what beats going to that rabbit hole? So, you make sure you cover all the angles of this research. It's better to actually just publish. You may actually find someone that was working along with this and wants to now collaborate because no one beats being first.
yeah,
So it's better to accept it if you're a little bit raw
yeah.
and just publish ahead of time. A lot of times I would love to do these posts, and I'm going into that for your last question, Rebecca, about like tips before we go into the show, tips from something that I learned last year. And I'm like, okay, I can't wait for this because they're annual events. Go into that annual event and ahead of time actually post something. But I get so wrapped up in other things that I have to do that I actually never post them. So I was trying to be perfect and then actually accomplish nothing. Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. But Rebecca actually always wins and adds these amazing tips. So with her consistency, I actually have stopped with that goal and actually just read her post. So as boat shows have already started, obviously, like we started with Boot, Dubai, and many others in between conferences and so on. Do you want to share maybe a few tips for someone that's gearing up to attend these shows, maybe from the cruise side or maybe from the shore side?
For boat shows?
Yeah.
For boats, okay. So first and foremost is just clear communication. There's so many yachting companies that are exhibiting at shows, and they don't give clear information. So it might be a 4-day show, yet some of their key people are only there for 2 days or one afternoon, and so they put on their social media posts, "Hey, we're going to Palm Beach Boat Show. We're going to be there. Great. Come and see us by the stand." Everybody goes to the stand. The person they need to see was only there for one morning. So, make it really clear what days your staff are going to be there. Are you going to be there the whole show? Give out information, your stand information, a QR code with, some marketing material. People that come to your stand, you need to have a reason for capturing that lead. Don't just have people on your stand that just give out a brochure and then off they go. You need to make sure there's a call to action, some sort of outcome that you want when people are visiting your stand. Whether they're signing up for your mailing list, or you're, going to get their email address to send them a demo video or book a meeting post show. Because, in all honesty, probably most of the exhibitors at boat shows, they don't start building revenue until after the show. It's not during the show, it's after the show where all the work takes place. So the follow-up is super important. So those are my tips. That would be a quick tip for exhibitors. It's the clear information for your stand and who's going to be there. Another one that people massively miss out on is PR. Reach out to media that are at boat shows, reach out to journalists, invite them to your stand. If you're having a demo, send an email to media and get them to come to your stand to see your demo. Many, many times I've approached people, I need a commentary for an article for a boat show, and they just ghost you. And I think, wow, you've just missed out on some major a PR opportunity because you couldn't be bothered replying. So reach out to media. And, I think the other important thing about boat shows, there's always those unplanned serendipitous moments. So as much as you plan meetings, conferences, networking, you know, you've got to just go with the flow sometimes. You're going to bump into somebody on a tender or walking back to the train station or the car park, and it could be a really great opportunity. So just be ready at any time. And also try and have a bit of fun, because nobody wants to be slammed with, sales pitches for 5 entire days. So yeah, those are my quick tips for boat shows.
I love all of them. I completely agree. With the stands, if I don't email someone ahead of time because I know I want to go to this show because I know they actually have a big presence there, but the person I want to talk to is there for 2 days. So if I hadn't reached out way ahead of time and organized my schedule, I had the best intentions, but I was going to miss them. The one about start publishing that you're going to be there with media, and I'm so thankful for people that start advertising and promoting their events ahead of time, because not only are you top of mind, again, I can organize myself to be like, oh, they're doing a demo, oh, they should be doing a presentation. So it just so help me help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
It helps other people with their planning. It cuts down time wasting, and it also is a good experience for them, because if they're coming to your stand and the people that they want to see are actually there at an agreed time that you've organized, then that's a great intro, because you only get one chance at first impression.
That's true. I have many tips for first impressions, but we're going to leave them there. Rebecca, thank you so much. Before I let you go, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience? Upcoming projects, anything that's on your mind?
Oh, upcoming projects. Well, I'll be at the Super Yacht Technology Show next month in Barcelona. So helping a client launch a product. You'll have to stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks really for the conversation, because I know how much effort goes into organizing podcasts and all the content that you put out, Andrea. So I really appreciate you inviting me on today.
Oh, thank you so much. I get to learn from you, so it's a win-win. Uh, Last thing, how can people follow along? How can they
They
stay tuned with your updates?
Okay, well, you can find me just Rebecca Whitlock on LinkedIn. That's my main platform that I like to play around on, and Antibes on Instagram and Facebook. And I just started a really small series of videos on Instagram for small businesses and yachting, just quick, less than 1 minute videos with marketing business tips.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough. Follow her on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being on the show. And I can't wait to see you soon. Sadly, I won't be in Barcelona, but from what I see, it's going to be a great show. There's a lot of
Yeah,
cool speakers
stay
going
tuned.
that way and a lot of cool companies. Yeah.
Yeah, be good. So stay tuned for more updates next month.
Thank you so much for listening to Yacht Femme. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and comment. Your comment will help us reach a broader audience. And don't miss the next episode. Bye!